So the Oklahoma Sooners and Brent Venables may be a week removed from the biggest win of Brent Venables' young head coaching career and a massive win for Oklahoma's program, but that does not mean that OU is done stacking wins. Far from it. Today, we need to talk about the newest win that the Oklahoma Sooners have gotten. This one comes on the recruiting trail for international offensive lineman who plays for NFL Academy, Daniel Akinkunmi. Today, we need to talk about what this means. We need to talk about why this is a big addition and everything in between. But before we can, as always, y'all know the drill, I have got to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, give me a Y for yes or an N for no. Are you excited that Daniel Akinkunmi chooses to commit to the Oklahoma Sooners? And let me know what you're thinking. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content and you don't want to miss any of it. But having said all that, let's jump right into this. And as always, who is Daniel Akinkunmi? Well, as I alluded to in the intro, Daniel Akinkunmi is an incredibly gifted prospect. If I'm not mistaken, the #1 international player in high school football, and for good reason. When you turn on the film, there's a few things that are going to instantly stand out to you. The first is that this is a very talented prospect. But one thing that I always get excited about whenever we talk about these guys, such as Daniel Akinkunmi, who haven't been around the game of football for very long, because if I'm not mistaken, he's only been playing high school football for 2 seasons. One of the really intriguing things about players such as this is that you'll turn on the film, you'll see they're very obviously talented, but that there is still a lot of growth, learning, and development to be had. And personally, I find that to be a positive thing because it's awesome to be able to get a prospect in your recruiting class that you can look at and acknowledge. You are very gifted, but I still have got a lot of things to teach you. I can still mold you to be the offensive lineman I want you to be. In our scheme, you have a lot of growth to have. I think that's always exciting whenever you see these prospects who are already balling out but still have so much of a ceiling in front of them. It is a lot of fun. And I think this is the exact type of prospect that Bill Bebo looks for. Bill Bebo is one of the best offensive line coaches in the nation, and I think it surprises a lot of people that he doesn't have more 5-star success on the recruiting trail, given how many guys he's successfully sent to the NFL, where they have had not only successful careers, but incredibly lucrative careers. And because of that, I think a lot of people around college football would expect Bill Bebo to be landing 5 stars left, right, and center, because it would make sense. However, that's not really his style. And in fairness, it works out just fine either way because we never look at the Oklahoma Sooners and say that's a bad offensive line. They may take a few games to develop, but which offensive line out there really doesn't take a few games to develop? That's natural for the position. We always look at that Oklahoma offensive line wondering which one of you along this line are the next one to go to the NFL, get that fat contract, and continue that Bill Bebo lineage. Hopefully, Daniel Akinkunmi will be one of the guys to continue that trend. So what does this mean for the Sooners recruiting class? Well, it remains to be a top 10 recruiting class, and personally, I don't see any way where OU is going to drop out of the top 10 in this recruiting cycle, the 2024 cycle. With the win they got in the Red River Shootout, with the way this program has trended, and with some of the battles still out in front of them, I think Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners are well on their way to their 3rd straight top 10 recruiting class. I would be absolutely shocked if it didn't hit top 10. In fact, I think that they have a solid chance of pushing for top 5, but this year's recruiting cycle is going to be really fascinating because we've seen so many guys commit. I think we're going to have a decommitment season, and I am really interested to see how college football coaches across the nation navigate that. Nonetheless, this is a phenomenal win for the Oklahoma Sooners. You can add in a guy that has a lot of talent, that has got a lot of growth left, and you can mold him to be the offensive lineman you want. Whenever you turn on the film, it's very obvious why programs such as Penn State, Clemson, Texas Tech, Baylor, and the Oklahoma Sooners, just to name a few, were all really high on Daniel Akinkunmi and why they were all pushing to try and get the commitment from this very talented prospect. Even though he hasn't been around high school football very long, it is obvious that this is a guy that has got a really high ceiling. I can't wait to hear from all of you. Hop down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Oklahoma still has several other big-time battles out in front of them. Who do you think is next to commit to the Sooners class? Can't wait to hear from you. Hop down to the comments. Let me know. That's it. See ya.